Nonprofit organizations in our area are trying to boost the number of volunteers. The pandemic caused a decline in volunteering. Kristen Allen is live outside the Volunteer Center in Brown County. So, Kristen, what kind of volunteer opportunities are there?
There are all kinds of opportunities that are here in the county, and here at the Volunteer Center of Brown County, which is located in Green Bay, what they try to do is if you have a certain skill, they try to match you up with a nonprofit organization where that skill would be useful. So maybe if you have a background in accounting or construction or whatever it may be, they try to match you with an organization where you can put that skill to good use. And if you're interested in volunteering, but maybe don't know where to start or what exactly is out there, it's as simple as coming here to the Volunteer Center and chatting with them and seeing what kind of opportunities there are and maybe where they can match you up at. Here at the Volunteer Center, they work with about 80 nonprofit organizations in Brown County, and that number has increased since the pandemic, with more organizations looking for help to recruit volunteers. Many organizations are still trying to get the number of volunteers they have up to pre-pandemic levels.
Right now, I think we're getting there. It's definitely not back to where we were in 2019, obviously. But if COVID's taught us anything, it's how that these organizations have to adapt and how they have to make sure that programmatically there are opportunities not only for their clients and the people that they serve to get involved, but also the volunteers to be able to get involved as well.
And it's also the 50th anniversary of the Volunteer Center right now. There's currently a donation match campaign that's happening. Every donation that is given will be matched up to $10,000. If you would like to help out, we'll have a link on our website, WBAY.com. Reporting live in Green Bay, Kristen Allen, Action 2 News.